All right, the time officially for Lemon Wright is a 10.833. Another quick time. I believe I run this quickly through the list. That's a third place in the standings now of the qualifier, so that would be good for third if we close the qualifier now. Dylan's on track now. Stephen McLaughlin on deck, followed by Andrew Carlberg, current record holder here for the Elites, our last rider in the 200 meters. And then we're going to be jumping into the Masters. The quick read is a flat 11. We'll get the official call in a moment. Our apologies to our online audience for the audio not getting pushed out. That should be taken care of now. Thanks for the note in the chat. I'll give you an update of the status of our qualifier and some of the stand-up performances so far in just a moment. We just have 3 more riders to go. That was Dylan Gonzalez of the Project Echelon team with an 11.001. It's Stephen McLaughlin on track now with Andrew Carlberg on deck, followed by our first rider for the Masters qualifiers. That rider and the Cat 3s, I should clarify the full group. JC Pyle will be the first rider up for that group. And I can confirm, Alex Seigel, that time today is officially faster than your own ride set previously in 2022 on Monday Night Racing. You have broken the record, Alex Seigel, for Masters Men 35 plus 200 meter flying, 200 meter effort. So congrats to Alex Seigel for his ride today and breaking his own record. Another almost exactly 11-second ride. That's 11.006 for McLaughlin. Several riders floating around that 11.6 time. For the coefficient of speed, our last rider on the track today will be Andrew Carlberg. JC Pyle on deck. Uli Mayer is the rider after that. So we'll be jumping into the Masters and Cat 3s for the Broadmark Masters and Cat 3 Sprints tournament. Carlberg getting the one to go. Our last rider for the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints, this in the qualifier round, to be seeded into the tournament. 10.55, the record set earlier this season on our track by this very rider. A little bit of wind here and there, but a good temperature today for some speed, and we've seen great speeds throughout the morning here in this qualifying event. Might be in record range. I think he might have just beaten his own record here, folks. Another record set at the track. Let's get the official time. Put in the record books, Andrew Carlberg, 10.467. Another fast time in 2022 for the coefficient of speed rider as he doubles down on his campaign of speed this year. 2 records broken by some locals today, with Seigel breaking his own record, and here comes Carlberg to do his damage on the track as well. An exciting qualifying event for the Elite Men. It puts Carlberg in at the #1 spot, Seigel in at 2nd in the qualifier, and I believe the next fastest time was Ethan Boys, unofficially, at a 10.763. Should make for some great sprint rounds later today. We now go into the Masters Cat 3 competition in their qualifying round. This is JC Pyle riding in the Jerry Baker Jr.'s kit, number 58, to set the first time in the group. Uli Meyer for Burnaby Velodrome Club on track. Merrick Gallagher and Peter Gilchrist, the next couple riders up. Gilchrist to the warm-up circle, looking for Gilchrist to the warm-up circle. Again, we're now into the qualifying round of the Broadmark Masters and Cat 3 Sprints Our first rider, JC Pyle, with the 12.559 to open things up. Uli Mayer on track for the Burnaby Velodrome Club. It will be the next time to be set. Followed by Merrick Gallagher, Peter Gilchrist, and then James Campbell-Harris. That's right, folks, on the stream here, checking in and just confirming they heard the call correct. That is correct. We had 2 records broken today, but both the Elite and Masters men records broken during the qualifying round just a moment ago. Andrew Carlberg setting another record here on the track. So we were just congratulating him here at the Velodrome just a moment ago. His time was a 10.467. A good 1/10 of a second faster than previously set this season. Bells ringing for our next time of Merrick Gallagher. Uli Mayer was on track and got a time of 12.326. Merrick Gallagher gets the bell. Peter Gilchrist is now on track. James Campbell-Harris is on deck, followed by Scott Grinsell. Merrick Gallagher, 13.033, the official time. Peter Gilchrist is on track next to get the bell. James Campbell-Harris on deck, followed by Scott Grinsell and Stan Douglas. A couple riders opening up this Masters Cat 3 qualifying round from the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, our local junior group, in partnership with the Velodrome, as well as one of our riders coming down from Burnaby Velodrome, up in Vancouver, BC area. So far, the fast time in the group set by our BC competitor of a 12.326. And there's Gilchrist, the quick call, 12.63. Coming back from a few weeks of injury. I know he took a spill and has come back from a collarbone, so finding his place back out here on the track. Peter's official time is a 12.626. Peter is 12.626. For Airtech Racing, James Campbell-Harris is now on the track. Scott Grinsell of Dyna is on deck. Flow Cycling Factory team's got Stan Douglas, followed by Ken Dong for the Dyna Racing team. I was given instruction that the top 3 in this qualifying round get a bye. So not only are we setting ourselves up for the sprint rounds, but riders get a little extra rest if they place well during the qualifying round for the Masters and Cat 3 sprints. Quick read on the clock is 12.18. Again, we'll get the official full read in just a moment. Your new quick time so far in the group will be Campbell-Harris with the official time of 12.189. 12.189. High in turns 3 and 4. That's Scott Grinsell for Dyna Racing. Coming on the track behind him shortly will be Stan Douglas. On deck then will be Ken Dong, followed by James Thiel. Quick read on the clock, that shows 12.41 with our official time coming in 12.404. Officially for Grinzel, 12.404. Stan gets the bell. Ken Dong will come on track next. Following that, James Steele and David Girth, our next couple of riders up. The time to beat in this crew right now is James Campbell Harris with a 12.189. Stan looking to chase that down. We're about halfway through the qualifying event. Stan Douglas for Flow Cycling, number 55. Quick read at 12.61 on the clock. 12.606 for Douglas. 12.606. Rider getting the bell next. This is number 52, Ken Dong for Dyna Racing with Team Atomic rider James Steele coming on track next. David Girth after that, followed by Tomko for Center Cycles. Another time sitting around 12.6. We'll get the official time here shortly. Several riders actually floating around that time. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 competitors that are going to be right on top of each other in the qualifier here. 12.599 for Ken Dong. 12.599. James Steele's out there for Team Atomic. David Girth for Red Kilo Racing is coming onto the track next. Then it'll be Tomko and Waterman in line after him. We're just a few riders out from the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium first race. International Omnium riders may want to get themselves set to go. Just a few more qualifiers out. Clock shows 12.18. Another quick time here. We'll get the official time shortly. A stream question coming in about live results. Besides, during the event, me calling things out as best I can, the results after the event is closed will always be found on our website at velodrome.org/live, where you can find a link to the stream we're watching right now, as well as the folder for live results. The official time for Thiel was 12.177. Make that, I believe, our fast time now for the group. Team Atomic blowing things up here. Our last rider, number 67. The quick time. It's David Girth on track to get the time next. Just finished, pardon me, at a 13.28 was the quick read. It's Tomko, the next rider up to get their timing, followed by Waterman, and finally Bobby Walther, our last rider in this round. Official time for Girth is 13.288. Yeah, this group is really showing, again, a pretty consistent sort of gravity to 12, just above a 12 as the timings. There's going to be a lot of really competitive heats, I can imagine, in this sprint tournament. Here's another time, right, floating at that 12 marker. The quick read, 12.805. Might be our new fast time of the group. And indeed it will be, is Tomko's time, 12.044. Your new fastest for the Broadmark Masters and Cat 3 riders today. So Center Cycles putting up a quick time with Eric Waterman on track next for Dyna Racing. He's the rider in gray over between turn 3 and 4. And our final rider in this round, Bobby Walthor, on deck. Will be coming on the track shortly. All riders for the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium should be set to start shortly. We just have 2 more riders in the qualifier. The scratch race, the first race of the Omnium, coming up next. A quick read shows a 12.3 for Waterman. Another quick time floating right above the 12 mark. Again, showing just how good this field will be in the competition. It's going to be great to watch. 12.306 is the official time for Waterman. Your last rider on track now, Bobby Walthor. And I think we found our quick time. We broke the 12-second barrier with a fast finish for Walthor. Get the official read. Looks like 11.64, the quick read on the clock, with the official time coming in at 11.649. That'll be seeded number 1 overall for Bobby, and looking forward a lot to both of these groups in the sprints. We'll get more from the Broadmark sprints later. It's time for the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium prep to start. We'll get ourselves set to go in just a matter of a minute here. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're here at the track. Many of you are still at home waiting for tonight. We cannot wait to host you here at the Velodrome for what should be an exciting evening of racing starting at 7 o'clock. We will resume all of the fun, and there'll be some great reasons to come out to the track, including the food trucks, the beverage garden. Great sponsors coming out. We've got the Vision Tech tent all set up with merchandise ready to go. We're selling t-shirts from the 2022 Grand Prix. You can get the Vision Grand Prix shirts here at the Velodrome all throughout the day. But if you can't come out and join us, we love having you on the stream too and tuning in and supporting the riders from afar. Thanks for tuning in. All right, that is the good go-ahead sign. Riders for the International Omnium, ride number 1 to the rail. The first race in this series, the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium, to the rail, please. Riders off for the neutral in this first race in the International Omnium. As a reminder for the fans out there watching, the International Omnium is a progressive series of races. Our riders' place in this scratch alone is not what matters. It's their success over a series of races that leads to the points race, which will conclude during tonight's Friday night program. The first two of the events will go on here during this noon session. The first one up, the scratch race, a 25-lap event. On the final lap, the first rider across the line will place highest, take 15 points with them in their campaign to win in the International Omnium here. The Vision Tech Elite Men on their way in this International Omnium. The first race, start them out of turn 4 if they're all together. And the whistle sounded. The race is underway. 25 laps in the scratch underway now. That's number 4, one of our riders to watch this year. Andy Baker wants to make his presence known on the opening lap. He's wearing the colors of the Ride of the Year jersey here at the Velodrome and will be all day, as he has currently taken the lead in that competition by a single point during our season. You want to read about some of our riders to watch and everything about our event here this weekend, velodrome.org/live. The very first button will take you to the digital program that you can scan through and check out the full schedule, learn about our great sponsors, some of the great racers to look out for in our fields throughout the weekend, a little bit more about how the scoring works, and more. Quick pace being set here at the front of the field. As you see, the group is already going into single file formation. High speeds from the field early on in the scratch as they're feeling out everybody's capacities, getting the legs opened up a bit during this session. Look at number 5 is Sam Morris, the Above and Beyond Cancer, presented by Bike World team. Flying at the front there for a moment in the turquoise green color. One of our locals, a couple of riders from the Found Cycling Guild here in the dark green. Sandoval, another local speedster and been competitive throughout 2022. .22 to go. Seigel, number 32 at the front for a moment in the all white. Chris Wilson and now Dave Richter take their turns at the front as we keep the parade marching forward. Good clip here in the early goings. Nobody on the attack mode, but everybody also wants to be on the wheel. That's number 7. The Rocket moves out of the way for Carl Hofer, another couple of our Seattle area weekly competitors here on a Friday night. We see them quite often. Audi Racing in the red. Carl Hofer at the front. All right. 17 to go here. Plenty of rotation at the front of this field and lots of pull from the front riders, keeping it quick. Generally speaking, the race has been in this format from the start as the field's been moving along quick, but nobody trying to break away or not a lot of action off the back either as our riders keeping it well together. I think we're going to send it down to the field for a quick check-in. We had 2 records broken today, and it looks like Amara's got those record breakers down on the infield to chat with. Let's go over there.
Maybe not. Oh, we're out of range. Yeah, we gotta go podiums at least here. Just get on the top step where you belong, right? A little better. We're getting there. And little here. About your record-breaking attempts. No, you didn't attempt. You did it, Alex.
Yeah, just super excited to get faster than a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think it was going to be as fast today, but that tailwind in the back straight was nice and gave you a good run for a quick time. Not anywhere close to 10.4, but
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Alex and I are heading to Aguas in about a week to go after some world records. So we've been training hard for this. Forgot my shoe covers on the 4th of July, so I made sure I put those on today. Knew a 10.4 out here was possible, and it's good to actually get it done.
Well, nice job, boys. We'll see you in the sprint tournament in a little bit.
All right. Congrats again to our 2 speedsters from the qualifiers. Some records broken today. Bit of pull here at the front of the field as we start to see a couple of breaks in the group. Looks like things will reconnect quickly as we are now starting to get into the back half of this race. $12 to go. Number 33 on the lead of the effort now. It's Lance Abshire, the Cheney Windows and Doors squad up there for a moment in the white with the black helmet. Another one of our riders to watch out of the program. A U23 speedster for sure, a champion in a couple of different events this past season. With 11 to go. A bit of bunching at the front behind the power of the dark green team now. Just past the 10 to go mark. Our field bunching up a bit here as we see a couple of the riders doing the effort early, starting to find somewhere to rest. This is our first race in the series for the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium, so this will carry on for several more events. Riders hoping to pick up some early starting points in the Omnium today with their event. This 25-lap scratch now down to 9 to go. As Ben Flom tries to reaccelerate things. There's Abshire again. Some quick rotations at the front. Starting to look ahead a couple laps and thinking to what should be an exciting finish here, as it looks like the group is content with sticking mostly together. Good speed. Still plenty of time, though, for the early attacks to come, and that's going to be the next few laps we're going to be watching for it. It's 8 to go. Hesitation now. Chris Wilson will bring the sprint lane forward. That looks to be Zak Kovalchic, our rider out of the Portland area. Making his presence known at the front, number 26, has had many championship rides both here and afar. Number 26 has. Glad to have him here for today's event. Six to go, and we're still in a formation here where it's really anyone's game, right? This is a field that's pretty bunched up right now. This gives top speed finishers plenty of opportunity if there's not too many more attacks from the front. I'm interested to see how number 33 races this. Lance Abshire coming in with some pretty big results here in 2022. He's about 4 wheels back coming up now, third wheel back. The rider in white with the black helmet, number 33, is somebody to watch in the middle of this group and how he attempts to race this. A champion, Nationals U23 scratch champion. And he's got another one of the favorites here, number 26. Kovalchic watching his wheel is Andy Baker, our local rider of the year, following on the effort now. So there's a lot of the names coming to the front, starting to feel the energy of the end of this scratch. They want to be involved. They want to be top 5. That's where the points really carry forward in the International Omnium. Covering all these efforts at the front, and that'll reset things once again as the speed from those leaders is enough to kind of keep things together. It's time to rest back up again. Still 4 to go. And there's Abshire again trying to set the pace. Looks like our filter is on a little strong. I'm going to turn some of that off so people can tune in. Waldo's Bike's asking who's our money on here, and it's still anybody's race, especially as this field bunches up. I've got some fast finishers in here, but this is an overall very strong group, and it's hard to say, right? Our first event here at the Vision Grand Prix. We know some riders coming from out of town are certainly those to watch. The rider down the sprinter's lane in the middle of this field, number 33 in the white with the black, was my early call to make some noise here, but certainly in the overalls, we'll see who can find the speed necessary for this scratch as we bunch up behind Ben Flom for Fell Swoop. He's the rider just kind of inching off the front of the group right now. As they round the corner, the leader is going to be seeing 2 to go. Excuse me, there's the 1 to go. It is 1 to go. 1 to go. Final lap. Showing 2 for Verd, who's going to swing up under as the effort comes up underneath. The bell's ringing as the rocket gets going. Our local speedster for the Found Cycling Guild is at top speed. Zak Kovalchic, Mario Sandoval following on the wheel. Great finishers both. Here comes Kovalchic, the Portland speedster, trying to come on the right-hand side. He found the wheel, he found the speed. Trying to come around the outside of Richter. It's Richter and Kovalchic. Kovalchic still has got it. Hits the line at top speed with number 7 coming along across the line second. I think Sandoval third. Might be a top live viewership for us. We were at 52 just a moment ago. Let's spread the news, folks. We are live on YouTube. If you're down here in the infield, get on the stream and share it on all the social media. Let folks know we are streaming live right now. And let's keep the active audience here all day long. We've got great racing. That was a fantastic finish. Kovalchic gets out to the early lead in the International Omnium. Richter and Sandoval right on his heel here. I think it was Abshire in 4th. Sam Morris, I believe number 5, was unofficially 5th across the line. Sprint rides are posted. I'm going to pull them up myself so we can get set to go for the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints, round 1 coming up now. The sprints, we've got lots of great sprints to get onto here. Heat 1 for the Elite Men. Heat 1 for the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints is Carlberg and Raknus. Heat 2, Seigel and Hauk. Heat 3, Boys and O'Mara. Heat 4, Wright McLaughlin. Heat 5, Jameson Gonzalez. Heat 6, McClintock and Young. The Broadmark Elite Men Sprints, round 1, coming up next. I got a former student running pedal heads over behind us in the parking lot. Hi, Angelo. I can't leave my post right now, but you're over there somewhere. Thanks for tuning in. That's pretty awesome. Pedal heads camp happening over in the parking lot behind us. We got all the little kids learning the skills on bikes out there. In this quick little break here, we're bringing up our sprinters next. This is session 1 of the Vision Grand Prix coming back here for 2022. We're so excited to have you and all of the live audience out there online tuning in, supporting our riders, and setting ourselves up for an exciting Friday and Saturday. Overall Omniums for sprinters, the Endurance Omnium, the overall Omnium, all starts with these races. We've got the Sprint Tournament, which concludes tonight, the International Omnium for the Elite Men that concludes tonight. Great women's racing going on this evening as well, including an exciting Madison at the end of that session. Check the schedule for all the sessions online, velodrome.org/live, and click the program where you can see the up-to-date program as changes are made as needed. Up now is Heat 1 of this first round. Raknus on the outside along the rail, his opponent on the inside, Andrew Carlberg, Ben Raknus, and Andrew Carlberg in Heat 1. Yeah, I see you out there. We had a little bit of an active filter there. It was kind of being a little bit. We're getting ready for bigger numbers. You know, right around the corner, we're hoping to have some more on-stream alerts and the ability to tip and get a call out for a racer during the stream. You could get something called out to a rider, and I'll announce something. Those kinds of things. So we're right around the corner from that. We're marching our way towards 1,000 subscribers. So if you're enjoying the stream today, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We stream every one of our Friday nights and all of our special events, so you can tune in from anywhere in the world and catch a little bit of Friday night racing action or whatever else is going on here. The Junior Takeover, Fred's race, of course. July 4th, we do a fun race that day as well. You can support the riders here in the Redmond, Washington area, the greater Seattle area. This is in the first round of the sprint tournaments, and as this is the first round and the first heat, it is the most disparaged in time. So this is going to be our recent record setter, Carlberg, playing hard to get from the front. Ben Raknus taking a bit of time away from the bike, but back here today to compete in the GP. Has been training up for some sprints. Makes a run at the rear wheel of Carlberg, who tries to play, again, a bit hard to get on the home straight, and on the back straight will just accelerate in the sprinter's lane and challenge Raknus to come around the right side. And round 1, it's Carlberg on his way on through the tournament. Alex Seigel, number 42 for the Broadmark Realty team, comes up right alongside our rider from Star Track Racing, Grayson Hauk alongside. Start list for the tempo has been posted for the Elite Men, including your points, which should confirm your results from the first race. Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium start list for the tempo has been posted to confirm your points after the first event. Seigel, 42, with the faster qualifying time, takes on 17. Grayson Hawkin, the Star Trek Racing kit, the black and blue. Only one rider qualifies on to the next round. The second place will ride in the what looks to be a 3-up rep round ride later on during today's session. Still the Broadmark Capital rider slightly ahead in position. Another coast adventure here for the Star Trek Racing team, making it a long ways over here to the Pacific Northwest to compete. Number 17 going head to head with someone who's probably feeling pretty good today. They just beat their own personal best and also a track best. As Alex Seigel bests his own time for the Masters men on the Flying 200. So feeling pretty quick today, the rider for Broadmark. At the one to go to mark, side by side in close proximity as Alex will guard the left turn of number 17. The effort coming out of turn 2. Hawk making a good run of it in the outside lane. He's got the longer run of it as the rider down the sprinters lane with the advantage at this point in the competition. Seigel accelerates nicely into turn 3. Starts to separate himself a bit. Hawk trying to find the wheel. Ooh, makes a second run at it. Not going to be enough as it looks like 42, the rider to advance into the tournament. The qualifier will be 42. Ethan Boys and Andrew Mara will be coming to the track next. This is Heat 3. Lemin Wright and Stephen McLaughlin are on deck. Once again, so far, it's Carlberg and Seigel advancing into this tournament. There will be those 2 rep rides later on. Ethan Boys, number 11 in the outside lane, taking on number 16, Andrew O'Mara in the black. 11 with the swanky kit, though, I gotta say. Head to head in this round 1, one rider to advance. As we work our way down in this first round, it tends to get a little tighter on the timings. As we'll see, these 2 qualifiers are a bit closer in their top speed. Just confirming once again, yes, there is a rep ride for the Elite Men Sprinters during this session. Elite Men rep ride. That's a 3-up repechage for the riders that did not qualify for the tournament out of this first round. You will ride again in the repechage once again. Don't go anywhere, Ben. You're looking at me all agape like, what's that about? What? I see you. Our riders on the track now. We've got, again, O'Mara, number 16 in the black, in the inside position now, controlling sort of the middle track area. A little bit of lead position ahead of Ethan Boys, the rider in the blue with that white helmet. Round one of the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints. Currently in our third heat of 6. On deck will be Lemon Wright and Stephen McLaughlin, followed by Corey Jamieson and Dylan Gutsolis. Not a lot of speed yet. A bit of faking move from the front here as O'Mara is out of the saddle, but he's not totally engaged yet. Starting to pick up a bit more pace down the back straight, waiting to see the speed from the rider in the rear spot. It's O'Mara with the slower qualifier. Boys has the advantage in the top speed, has to make the run at the wheel, still has some time, has the speed, trying to close it. The rider on the inside, 16, will advance. Andrew O'Mara. So here's where these really become tight. As strategy and approach to these rides matters more and more the way as we work our way through this first round in particular. The timings will get tighter and tighter as Lemon Wright for the Shop Racing lines up. You'll find a little bit more about Lemon in our program. Actually, another one of our racers to watch coming in from the Shop Racing team. It's Stephen McLaughlin for Bike Central, the Shark, lining up in bib number 1 along the rail. As it comes to the timings again, this is getting closer and closer, so both riders now having to calculate their moves, and it's a very critical ride in this round one, especially as we work our way down these heats. A slight difference in approach, missing that opportune moment to get up to top speed, misreading your opponent can lead to you either being in or out of the opportunity to race for top positions in this tournament. The first rider across the line to advance, the other to ride again in the rep. And we'll have repechage during this session for this Broadmark Elite Men's group. Knowing what's at stake, a lot of these sprinters take these first laps, in a very slow tempo. Some energy being expended to go this slow, but in part they're forcing the other rider to spend that energy too, calculating their next move, building up that anticipation. Still Lemon Wright in the lead spot. Takes the sprinter's lane and is looking over the right shoulder with our rider for the Bike Central team riding a bit high and behind him. That's McLaughlin, with plenty of dazzling finishes both in the Keirin and the sprints here at the Grand Prix over the years. A veteran of top speed, taking out one of our more out-of-town competitors here, a rider from the Shop Racing. Given a little bit of running room, riders, lots of space between them as we cross the line. Lots of avenues of attack, but Lemon's watching. McLaughlin begins to pick up the pace, and so he'll close the distance down. We'll get a little bit tighter. McLaughlin diving, moving up and down the track with quite a bit of throwing the bike around here. McLaughlin takes the front position. That hill kind of surprised both of them. McLaughlin's got the advantage of the shorter lane right now, but Lemon got a nice acceleration. Not quite surrendering that lane yet. Coming around the corner, it's McLaughlin trying to hold on to the speed of Lemin. It'll be Lemin right from the outside. An interesting turn one for these two as they danced on the bikes a bit together, but they both come out of it all right. Lemin will be the rider to advance this in this event. Great ride for both of them in this round one. That's our fourth heat. We come now to our fifth as we continue to find the riders that will advance. Corey Jamieson on the track next door to Dylan Gunsalas of Project Echelon. Echelon? I get it right. On deck, Guy McClintock and Aaron Young for the final heat in round one. They're followed by the first round for the Broadmark Masters Men Sprints. In the black uptown on the back of the jersey there, number 22, Corey Jamieson in the back position, as Dylan will pick up the pace a little bit early on. The rider in the blue and white jersey with the red helmet got on a smattering of the national colors there. Coming side by side, Dylan riding high. A quick opening lap. They're already well into this first lap as there's lots of speed and mobility in these two riders in the opening moments. Both playing this as a pretty high tempo opening lap, neither at 100%. They're in that 80% zone here just about. Still a little bit more acceleration to be found as Dylan runs to the back wheel, side by side, down the back straight. Dylan takes the lead spot now. The second effort from the rider in black, Corey Jamieson, with the better qualifying time, but a really good move as he gets Razor down the back straight a bit here. Nice move to the back wheel, and whoa! Close, but I think 21 on the inside should hold on. Good ride on the back half of the track. Corey Jamieson made a recovery move and didn't get there in time. 0.2 of a second separating the two riders at the line, according to our official finish line camera. $21 for the win. I get it now. He's confirming the. I see it on the sheet too. Thank you. I get it, John. Quick reminder on exiting on the back straight at our track. And then use the warm-up circle to continue your deceleration. Thank you. Again, or we'll exit on the back straight here at the same lap as you finish. And then you can use the warm-up circle for more deceleration as needed. Couple of our big finishes tonight. You'll get that victory lap moment in front of the home crowd. Don't you worry. You'll know the moment. And our thanks to John, who's here helping up with the finishing timings. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of support here. We've got great the finish line camera squad doing the timing here with John, and then my officials team. Actually, we've got the spreadsheet up. I can see the official results like that. So everything's going really smooth here at the Grand Prix. Thanks to everybody here behind the scenes making this so well put together. This is our final heat for the Elite Men's first round. One more rider to qualify into the tournament. Another one will ride into the repechage. It's Guy McClintock for the Flying Gorilla Academy, number 25, in the lead spot in the black and blue. It's Aaron Young for the shop, number 10. Saw Lemin advance a bit earlier. He's going to try and join him. McClintock with barely the advantage out of the qualifier with top speed. Aaron Young's going to have to find the right strategy and combination here as he starts to figure out how the track feels up and down. Nothing of it though, just some mobility. The mind games at work. 25 has found himself sitting at the lead and waiting for 10 to settle down. Down the back straight. Starting to hit their stride, but still waiting. There's the second effort now as both riders starting to pick up the pace. The rider from the shop starting to accelerate. Here comes the two riders around the corner. Rider in white making a good run at it. Oh, the rider from the shop, number 10, Aaron Young, leaps at it out of turn 4. Good move into the slipstream through the turn and finds the opportunity to close that race down. It's now into the Broadmark Masters Cat 3 Men Sprints first round. Heat 1, James Steele earning the bye. Daniel Tomko owning a bye. Bobby Walther, our fastest finisher, also earning the bye. Our first round of competitors will be James Campbell Harris and David Girth in officially what is labeled as Heat 2. Heat 3 on deck is Eric Waterman, Merrick Gallagher, followed by Uli Mayer and Peter Gilchrist. This is already setting up to be a one heck. One heck of a 2022 Grand Prix. And here we go into our second of these sprint events, the Broadmark Masters and Cat 3 Men Sprints. Round 1, officially listed in the start list, is Heat 2 with James Campbell Harris and David Girth. Of our riders not earning the bye, Campbell Harris with the fastest time in the qualifiers, so he gets good advantage in this opening round. Both riders in their opening effort now with Eric Waterman and Merrick Gallagher on deck to start next. Riders get the bell. The rider on the outside, Campbell Harris, the Aerotech Racing Team. Red Kilo's got David Girth, number 64, inside of him. Kind of guarding the lane down to the inside position on the track. Keeping him high along the rail still as they come along Gregg cycle sign in turn 2. Waiting to accelerate, maybe using the hill to start picking up the pace. Both riders hesitating until they found the flat on the back straight. Being kept high as Campbell Harris is making a second run at it now around the outside. Wind whipping up a little bit here, but the rider for Aerotech Racing able to accelerate enough to pick this one up, and he'll advance. There's no rep round for the Master Cat 3 riders. So Campbell Harris survives in round 1 and will be found again later in our quarterfinals. On track now, the third heat. Eric Waterman, Merrick Gallagher. It's Eric Waterman lining up in lane 1. In the gray with pink of Dyno Racing. Merrick Gallagher for Jerry Baker Jr.'s number 62 is lined up closer to the rail in the black and blue. Hopefully none of these round 1 races are the sprints of the day. I see a couple comments and excitement in these early rounds. Yes, they are there's a fantastic competition going on here early. But all this is to build up to what will be the final rounds, as we'll be going for the top places in front of the big live audience tonight. Friday night racing continuing on, the final rounds of sprints, the final 2 races, the International Omnium. Lots of great women's racing tonight. All of this is part of that setup to what should be, again, the great excitement tonight. Although right now, of course, we turn our attention to this competition that's about to get the bell into their second lap. It's Merrick Gallagher trailing behind Waterman a little bit. Waterman in the gray with the black helmet, watching Gallagher approach him. Waterman with the faster time coming out of the qualifiers. Down the back straight, Gallagher finding the rear wheel, trying to hold on to the acceleration. Now Waterman, Dyno Racing, picks up the pace nicely into turn 3. It's starting to drop the young rider. Starting to find his ground again, though. He's still in the slipstream, still has the opportunity to close down the gap and to give this a run. I think he identifies that Waterman's got just a bit too much closing power. Waterman advancing in today's sprint tournament. I don't know who, but I think Merrick owes somebody $20 apparently. I don't know. I didn't put it up there. Uli Mayer and Peter Gilchrist are next heat, followed by Scott Grinsel and Stan Douglas. Off we go in our next group. 2 riders on the track is Peter Gilchrist, number 68 for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, coming out of the Burnaby Velodrome Club. Uli Mayer, number 65 in the white. That rider picking up the faster time during qualifiers, so has the nod just in pure top speed. Gilchrist coming back off of injury for a few weeks. He's been dealing with a collarbone injury, so been off the bike for a bit and coming back the last week or 2 trying to get ready for today's competition. It's Scott Grinsel and Stan Douglas on deck. They are Heat 5. Heat 6 will follow JC Pyle, Ken Dong. Two more heats until the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints repechage round. Rep riders, the rep ride will be coming up soon. Bell's ringing now, and our riders still bringing it up to pace. Gilchrist will close down the track a bit. Willie Mayer's got less room to work with as they both find themselves close to the rail. Really trying to pull off the pace and force Gilchrist forward a little bit. He'll comply, starting to move up track, leaving that lane open in kind of any direction Uli wants to go. He'll take the open lane to the left and blow this thing apart pretty quickly down the hill in a classic move. Gilchrist has to make an incredible effort here to close back down on that attack. Uli, number 65. Uli Mayer will find that one. Gilchrist gaining great ground. I think just the move out of turn 2 was a bit too much. Our final heat for the Broadmark Masters Men and Cat 3 men. This is JC Pyle and I'm way off. Scott Grinsel. I'm talking about way too much stuff. Scott Grinsel in the gray for Dyna Racing is number 56. Stan Douglas for Faux Cycling Factory Team. The two going head to head in the second to last heat here for the Masters and Cat 3 men. Stan Douglas is on the inside position. He's got kind of the green on. Green and white, green and gray. I don't know. Scott Grinsel sitting beside him in the gray with the black helmet. Two more heats to go in this round. Then we're going to bring up that repechage for the elite men. We got two groups of 3 riders to see if we can get a second chance qualification. That was a nice one. I should have let him know that ahead of time. Currently on track is 2 riders in this second to last heat for the Broadmark Masters Men Sprints. The rider closest to us in the green, Stan Douglas. Scott Grinsel placing a bit ahead of him in the qualifying round. That's the rider in gray for Dyna Racing. Another patient opening lap. Douglas starting to inch ahead a little bit. Both riders kind of contesting near the blue line. Grinsel floating a bit higher again and awaiting the hill at this point. Neither rider wanting to pick up the pace too soon. Grinsel from the high ground makes the move. Douglas leaving a lot of gap here, but nice acceleration as he's out of the saddle trying to pick up the pace. Run at the wheel. Not going to be enough in time. Grinsel will ride again in the sprints. And now our last heat for this round. The round one wrapping up is Ken Dong, number 52 for Dyna Racing in the gray. And the black and blue is the Jerry Baker Jr.'s JC Pyle. Closest in the qualifiers in their times, and this final ride to figure out who will advance into the tournament. Both riders in this final heat riding close to the rail in their opening lap. The junior in the front position right now. Dyna Racing just kind of playing follow the leader at this point as Ken Dong's letting JC stay at the front, giving him just enough room. A rider in the gray playing both sides of the track now. Bells ringing. Might start to play that protective role, the guard dog now, as and he still takes the second wheel spot. Lot of maneuverability here for the Dyna Racer, making JC pay attention. These races oftentimes always coming down to the top speed suddenly coming at the wrong time for the lead rider. We've seen that in the last couple of heats, so we'll watch how JC plays this one as he's in that tough front spot. He'll take the impetus out of turn 2 and says, I'm not going to let Ken start this race. Ken Dong has to really close this down quickly as he's starting to get there. If he can get into the slipstream, JC will have some trouble. Sprint from the front for the junior might be enough. Grinding the corner, it's still JC on the front. Ken Dong coming alongside. JC Pyle will be the advancing rider. Up next, the repechage round for the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints. Following them, which will be pretty quick, we got the Broadmark Masters Men Sprints quarterfinals. Then the Broadmark Elite Men Sprints quarterfinals. So the Masters will come back up for their quarterfinals, and then finally the Elite Men before we get back to the International Omnium. In the repechage, we got Heat 1, Ben Rackness, Stephen McLaughlin, Guy McClintock. Heat 2 is Grayson Hawk, Ethan Boys, Corey Jamieson. This is the second attempt to get into the tournament for these riders. They must place at the front of this field of 3. Lined up at the line, our 3 riders going in this rep ride. One more chance to earn their way in. Number 45, Ben Rackness, with the white helmet and the gray kit, moves towards the front. Number 25 is Guy McClintock for Flying Gorilla Academy in the black and blue. Bib number 1 for Bike Central, Barber Vet Racing Team, Stephen McLaughlin lines up now third in this lineup of 3 riders. On deck, Grayson Hawk, Ethan Boys, and Corey Jamieson. In our second of 2 reps. This ride to determine who will race in the quarterfinals against Alex Seigel. is how I understand this to be broken down. Thanks to my officials for keeping me straight. On the back straight, Guy McClintock has found himself now in the front position, sort of taking the lead spot. They're starting to spread this group of three out a little bit. Guy seeing he's got some room. Rackness falling off the pace. It's McLaughlin and McClintock starting to take over at the front. As the bell rings, McClintock watching over the right shoulder, trying to make sure McLaughlin not taking the run at him. Rackness leaving a lot of room. He's at speed already, or nearly at speed. We'll see what he does with it on the hill here. Might as well keep running at it. He'll do so. McLaughlin now makes the acceleration around the outside of McClintock. He's starting to lose a little bit of speed. Here comes the Shark trying to make some revenge here, make his way in. McClintock doesn't want to let him go, though. It's going to be two riders up onto the home straight, McClintock and McLaughlin. McClintock with the second attack, number 25. Sounds like he'll be racing against Seigel in the next round. Here comes our rep ride. Heat 2. Number 17, Grayson Houck for Star Trek Racing, lined up along the rail. In the middle position, they got Corey Jameson, number 22. For Uptown Bicycle right in the middle lane. And then, of course, Ethan Boyes, number 11, is in lane 1. On deck, we get into the quarterfinals. It'll be the Broadmark Masters Men Sprints. Quarterfinals first. We'll go into the Masters and Cat 3 men first in this quarterfinal rounds that are upcoming. It's our last second chance ride. One rider to get back into the tournament, and they'll be facing Carlberg as their reward. Ethan Boyes taking the lead position currently. The other two riders starting to come alongside as they'll elevate a bit in turn 3, taking a fairly easy first lap and compared to our previous rep. Ethan Boyes still leading it out. Corey Jameson starts to find his wheel a little bit here. Both riders trying to keep track of where the Star Trek rider is too. Number 17 starting to get up and out of the saddle a bit. They see that speed. The front will now try to match. Here comes Star Trek Racing trying to come around the right side. Ethan Boyes from the front looked good in his head-to-head ride. Would like to try to find this one. There's room in the sprinters lane. Everybody's found it. Boyes from the front. Grayson Houck trying to find a little bit of acceleration. It's still going to be Boyes all the way around. Number 11, your first rider across the line, gets to ride again in this sprint tournament. And that'll wrap things up for round 1 and all of the reps. We continue on with the Broadmark Masters and Cat 3 men's sprints. The quarter-final rounds are coming up to the track next. Heat 1 is Bobby Walthor and JC Pyle. Heat 2, Dan Tonko and Scott Grinsell. Heat 3, James Thiel and Uli Mayer. And Heat 4, James Campbell Harris and Eric Waterman. One more reminder about exiting on the backstretch on our track. We'll exit on the backstretch on the same lap that we finish. And you can use the warm-up circle as your cool down. Thank you. Heat 1 for the quarterfinals. In the Broadmark Masters in Cat 3 men, it's Bobby Walthor, JC Pyle to the ready area. On deck, Daniel Tomko, Scott Grinsel. All right, our quarterfinal round now getting started. It is number 69, Bobby Walther, up along the rail. JC Pyle, number 58, alongside. Walther has been resting for a bit as he posted our quickest time out of the qualifiers and earned a bye in round one. His first head-to-head matchup against our junior rider for the J. Baker Juniors, JC. And off we go in the quarterfinal round. JC Pyle, Bobby Walthor head-to-head. On deck, Tomko and Grinsel, followed by Thiel and Mayer. Lots of sprinting here in our noon session. Of course, the finals, the best of three rides happen during tonight's program. So the riders that end up in the top in these tournaments will carry forth to the final rounds during tonight's event. We'll get through the quarterfinals. We're going to bring back up the International Omnium. Then we'll run the semifinals for the sprints. And that'll be the end of our noon session. We'll take a bit of a break after that and get set for tonight's great excitement, our 7 p.m. Friday night session, session number 2. We're the conclusion for the sprints as well as this exciting International Omnium. Great women's racing, food trucks, beverage garden, all the merchandise. If you're here and want to come out to the Velodrome and join us, great reason to make the way out to the park and be a part of the most exciting night of the track season. Fastest race in the Pacific Northwest. Doesn't look fast right now, but that's because they're saving it up for the sprint moment in these events. JC playing the lead spot now. It's Bobby Walther, the fastest of this group out of the qualifier, here to take on the junior. Trying to work him up against the rail a little bit, but leaving the lane behind. JC takes the early jump, did this in his last race. Trying to leave Bobby with some running room and a little bit of a gap to close first before he can find his wheel. Good spacing here out of JC. Bobby making a good run at it though, and again, the top speed of Walther are going to be a tough thing to beat. He finds the slipstream and will continue on through, carry that momentum across the top. Walther, number 69, will take the ride. Tomko and Grinsel coming up for heat number 2 on deck. James Steele and Uli Mayer. The final heat of the quarterfinals is James Campbell Harris and Eric Waterman. We'll see JC again during the race for 5th through 8th. Advancing, though, into those semifinal rounds, Bobby Walthor, the first rider to make it in. Number 13, Daniel Tomko takes lane 2, close to the rail. It's Scott Grinsel, number 56, in the gray, in lane 1. Center Cycles blue, competing here today on the back of Tomko, another one of our riders that gets the bye and finds himself straight to the quarterfinal round. You can follow along with all the great racing here, of course, by heading to our website, velodrome.org/live. You can pick up the whole schedule, the race program, some good reading about the riders. We got some racers coming in from out of town as well, some of our local favorites to follow along with. There'll be lots of great stories to tell as we close out racing tonight and, of course, again tomorrow night. Lots of things to follow. The overall Omnium placement, the Sprint Omnium, the Endurance Omnium also broken down to that program. You can find the link to that digital program at velodrome.org/live. We also post these results so you can check out how your favorite racer is doing in the sprint tournament if you haven't been able to stay tuned through the whole thing. We got a folder posted up there where you can check out how things are going. Again, the website, velodrome.org/live. This is Scott Grinsel in the gray, leading out for Tomko just by a hair here. Taking it nice and patient on this first lap. And there's our bell. Grinsel still in the lead spot. Brought out the wax today for the mustache. Grinsel's got the style, and he's also got the lead spot right now. Tomko with the faster qualifier time. A bit more of that pure sprinter finishing speed. Grinsel's going to make a bit of a run at it now from the front down the back straight. Center Cycles commands the second position, finds the wheel, and tries to accelerate over the right-hand side, and looks like he should be able to close this down as they hit the home straight. Tomko, for Center Cycles, takes the ride. Heat 3, James Steele for Team Atomic and Uli Mayer, Burnaby Velodrome Club. On deck, James Campbell Harris, Eric Waterman in the final heat of the quarterfinals. Only our top riders advance to the semifinal rounds to continue to chase down those top places. So far, Tomko and Walthor advance in our first two heats. Grinsel and Pyle will race again in the race for 5th through 8th, held during the semifinal rounds. All right, on the track now, we continue on with this quarterfinal round. James Steele, the rider, in the front. He's got on the darker kit with the rear disc wheel. Wooly Mare for Burnaby Velodrome Club in the white, giving him plenty of room on the track. Theo still leading things out, kind of watching things over the right shoulder as he was riding that blue line, waiting to see the Burnaby rider might try to close down the distance a bit as the bell's ringing. Now coming into closer contact. Preparation for the speed out of turn 2 is still both riders playing it pretty patient. Theo keeping an eye on both sides as he practically has the sprinter's lane in his own control, but as they hit the back straight, no move from the back rider, so it'll be Theo to accelerate first. This gives good advantage for the rider in white, who forces it this late and has the slipstream, but he has to have top speed to come around still. It's Theo at the front, still holding his line, and it looks like he'll have enough to hold on to this one. Team Atomic making waves here again in the quarterfinals. James Campbell Harris will take the track alongside Eric Waterman in the final heat of the quarterfinals. All right. Quick clarification and a missed call from me earlier as I got a couple different sources. I'm checking. My apologies. There will not be a 5 through 8 ride. 5th will be determined out of the 200-meter timing, apparently, to break that one. So riders that don't make it at this point are out. That's going to be it. So we have one more rider to move into the semifinal round, and that's going to be either James Campbell Harris of Aerotech Racing, the rider in the second spot in the neon green, bib number 59, or his competitor in front of him, Eric Waterman, number 19 for Dyna Racing in the gray. Very close competition here in top speed. They find themselves here in this 4th heat of the quarterfinal and our last qualifier to make it into the top 4 spots. At 1 to go, it's still the rider in gray for Dyna Racing, Eric Waterman in command of the position. James Campbell Harris playing the game from behind. He makes the move underneath down to the left, takes the sprinter's lane at good speed. Just trying to hold on to it now. Waterman might be able to find the wheel and reaccelerate himself. This race isn't over as they hit turn 3. Waterman trying to pick things back up again, and Campbell Harris trying to just hold on to his tempo from the front. The second move coming from Dyna Racing. Aerotech from the front will be James Campbell Harris will be your top 4 rider out of this group, our last to advance. The Broadmark Elite Men Sprints continues on with the quarterfinals. We've got 4 more heats to go in the quarterfinal round. We now find ourselves in the Elite Men competition. Carlberg and boys head-to-head in Heat 1. Alex Seigel and McClintock in Heat 2. Andrew O'Mara and Aaron Young in Heat 3, and Lamin Wright, Dylan Goodsolis in Heat 4. An exciting quarterfinals round. Winners advance. On the track now, it's Andrew Carlberg for the coefficient of speed in second position behind Ethan Boyes. Carlberg probably feeling pretty good today after breaking a record during the flying 200 meters and demonstrating once again that he's having a speedy 2022 season. Qualifies number 1 coming into the tournament. Ethan Boyes working his way back in here from the rep. Going to try and put up a fight against Carlberg. And we've seen some good riding from Ethan from different positions on the track, trying to apply some good strategy and tactics. It's going to come down, though, I think, to the top speed of this matchup. We'll see how the two play this out. It's Alex Seigel and Guy McClintock on deck in Heat 2. Both riders taking their time through turn 2 now is turn 3, I should call that. I know the track. Ethan Boyes in the front position trying to really push back on the pedals. Force Carlberg into a change of position perhaps, but he's not going to take the bait too easily, and they'll just stay in their same positions, exerting quite a bit of energy to maintain where they are on the track. Crossing our good sponsor Stanley there over in turn 3. We get plenty of time to reflect as they find their way in the middle of the turn. Still Boyes now in the inside position. Both riders coming along side by side. Boyes playing the inside lane and starting to pin Carlberg position-wise up a little high. The only route forward at this point. As the bells ring in, a little bit of a flinch out of number 11. Beginning to find some acceleration. Looks like Carlberg's trying to just match what Boyes gives him in speed. And the other way around as they play the pin game as Boyes keeps him high as long as he can. Both riders will just use the flat of the back of the track. Carlberg just has to use top speed around the outside. He's got lots of it. Boyes controls the inside as they hit turn 4. Boyes has got the short lane. Carlberg will have to just apply speed from the outside, and it's enough. A good ride for number 11 as he plays the tactic well. Carlberg will take the abuse and ride it the long lane and still find the win. Alex Seigel, number 42 in the white and blue. Got the national colors on the arm there. A champion in his own right here in the sprints as a Masters competitor. And Guy McClintock for the Flying Gorilla Academy, number 25. A bike on the rail in turn 1. Thank you for the reminder. Let's make sure we have nothing hanging over or under the railing during competition. Thank you. Didn't notice that. Appreciate that, Andrew. We'll keep our railing clear during competition. Appreciate it. All right, our next group coming up here. This is Heat 2 again. Getting set, and on deck is Heat 3. Andrew O'Mara and Aaron Young. Alex Seigel in the inside position alongside our rider, Guy McClintock. Another rider probably feeling pretty good today. Personal best here at the track and breaking his own record is Seigel. So another top speed rider in this field. Second fastest out of the qualifying round, taking on McClintock. Another one of our riders to make it back into the competition after racing in the rep ride. So a second chance rider. He's been active today just to get to this point. Flying Gorilla Academy. Number 25 is closer to the rail and just a little bit behind Seigel currently as we're in this opening lap. 42 starting to ride this a little bit like you just watched Hayes in the last race, kind of pinning McClintock pretty high as they find their way in the middle of the first two turns. No avenue for McClintock to move to the left as they're already at intermediate speed. Now Seigel will drag this thing up towards top tempo down into the flat on the back straight and lead this thing from the front. A bit of an opening here behind him. McClintock trying to close it down. A good second run at it. Number 25 isn't able to get there in time, as it will be Seigel, the rider to advance. Great competitive spirit there. It's 25. Looked out of it in turn 3, but held on to it for some great recovery down the home straight. Almost finding his way up to the front. A couple more heats before we'll bring back out our International Omnium second ride. This is now the third heat. Andrew O'Mara and Aaron Young. Talking for a moment amongst ourselves here to confirm results. We'll be back with this next heat in just a moment. Don't forget, if you're out there enjoying the stream, thank you for tuning in on YouTube or Facebook. We'd appreciate as much of you as possible could navigate your way over to YouTube, as we are going to soon, probably in 2023, be fully adopting YouTube Live as our primary platform. Hit that subscribe button. Help us as we march on our way to, well, I think we're about to hit 900. Let's make it, our official goal is still to get to 1,000 here at the end of our season. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and of course, hit that thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment during the video, leave a comment afterwards. Come back and rewatch the action and interact with our videos. We appreciate all the support and all of the fans that are out there enjoying the show here. If you're in the area at home, just waiting for the evening session, hopefully you're enjoying seeing the opening rounds here of our sprint tournament. Earlier, we had the scratch race for the International Omnium, the Elite Men. Very soon, we'll bring out their second race, the Tempo. Now coming on track is our third heat. Andrew O'Mara is number 16 and is in lane 2, coming out along the rail. For the shop is Aaron Young, number 10 in lane 1. Aaron Young, the rider in the lead spot with the white. A little bit of green on there. That's racing for the shop with Andrew O'Mara, the rider in black, in second position. We find ourselves in the quarterfinals with just 2 more heats. First rider across the line to advance into the semifinal round. We will host the semifinals here during this noon session that will be closing up with those semifinal rounds. As a reminder, finals occurred during tonight's program. Again, the semifinals are happening during this session. It will be the last thing to happen during this session, the semifinal round. The finals, not the semifinals, during tonight's race. Bells ringing, both riders in pretty close proximity. The rider in black takes the lead spot. It's going to be our rider for the shop, Aaron, dancing around behind. He finds the lower part of the track, showing a little bit of physical control on the bike and on the track overall, trying to move O'Mara around. He finds himself down the sprinter's lane, O'Mara on the outside, but trying to get up to speed quicker. The rider in black is found at the shorter lane to the rider on the inside. Aaron Young has got advantage here and looks like he'll be able to close it down. I think that's a double upset for our rider, Aaron, after being positioned below both competitors in the qualifiers that been able to beat for the shop, making some waves here. His teammates, Lemin Wright coming up to the line next against Dylan Gunselis for Project Echelon, and these two riders will be our final set of two to find one to advance into the semifinal round, and also our last ride before the International Omnium returns. Two riders that we actually picked on their way in here to be some featured riders in our program. Let's see how this, I think, very closely matched race plays out. And off we go. It's Lemin Wright, number 9, in lane 1, down lower on the track with the black helmet and the white kit. Notable recent results. First in the Georgia State Sprint Omnium. Third place in the Pro-Am Chariot. A speedster coming here for the shop racing team, and up against number 21, collegiate kilometer national champion, a 5-time national medalist. Third place Elite Nationals Kilo time trial in 2022. Hey, and not to mention, found a team sprint finish third place along with Jerry Baker's own Andrew Carlberg. So these two riders, what's that? And Aaron, the other rider in the group. Very good. I didn't have that in the program info, but I trust you, Alex. I trust you. Quick opening lap. Lemin's leading things in the sprinters lane. Both riders lined up. High stakes moment here. I think, again, well matched for these two. It's about how they choose to ride it. Lemin choosing to just take the sprinters lane from the front and keep watching for the jump. He's waiting for Dylan to challenge him. He says, "You can't come around me." Down the back straight, Lemin just trying to match the speed of Dylan now, coming around the corner. Dylan still has the challenge of getting the second effort. He tries to find the slipstream for a moment, pops in, pops back out, accelerating. It's Lemin from the front. Lemin will hold on. Number 9 for the shop. Great head-to-head match. And that'll do it for the Broadmark Masters Cat 3 and Elite Men Sprints rounds. The quarterfinals all wrapped up. We move into the second race of the International Omnium. I'm going to be calling you up in order as the scoring sits. So give me just a moment to bring those up, and we will get going with the International Omnium second race. All right, to the line in order as the points stand. Elite Men, the Vision Tech Elite Men International Omnium second ride. It is the Tempo. Up first for Black Lodge Cycling with 40 points, Zak Kovalchic. With 38 points for Fount Cycling Guild, it's Dave Richter. With 36, also for Fount Cycling Guild, Mario Sandoval. With 34 for Above and Beyond, it's Sam Morris. 32 points, Lance Abshire. 30 points, Nico Sandy. 28, Tom Perkins. 26, Cameron Fitzmaurice. 24, Jay Delaney. 22, Sage DeLuce. 20, Norman Richard. 18, Andy Baker. 16, Parker Swanstrom. 14, Bartolome Sonak. 12, Emmett Culp. 10, Carl Hofer. 8, Luna Max. 6, Chris Wilson. 4, Eric Deertons. 2, Elliot Crowther. 1, Brendan Russell, Vern Cole, Ben Flom, Joe Spranger. All riders to the line now. The Vision Tech International Omnium second race about to begin. We move into the Tempo. Riders coming up to the rail and getting set to start here. We'll get them their information from the officials and get this thing underway. I'll talk a little bit about the Tempo while riders are under their neutral lap. And the riders are off in this international tempo. The race opens up with a 4-lap scratch, essentially. No points going out in the opening 4 laps. The bell will ring after 4 completed laps, letting riders know we jump into 1 point for the lead rider every lap after that. The tempo rewarding riders that can either make the solo jump off the front and take a few laps, or those that can just kind of persistently come to the front and sprint. You got to just find usually a few points, not too many, to work your way up in the top 5. If you want to take top spot in the tempo overall, though, you may have to have those solo breakaways. You might look for some of our endurance riders to find those moments and opportunities to break from this field. There's the whistle at 20 laps to go. We'll get a bell in a few laps letting you know the points start. No points this lap. No point this lap. Ben Flom of Fell Swoop will take the lead spot.
Green.
$18 to go. That's Dave Richter at the front. An early, strong rider here in the International Omnium as he comes into the race in second overall as number 7 with 38 points after the first race. It's Zak Kovalchic, though, your early leader, number 26 for Black Lodge Cycling. Since I first started coming out here to the Velodrome and started paying attention, Zak's been making noise here every single year at the Grand Prix. So we'll keep our eyes on that rider as he starts to match this move. He wants to be involved in just about everything that happens in this race. There's number 31. Taking a dive into the lead spot is Eric Dietzens of Cycles West. Trying to pick up the pace. No point to lead the lap just yet. We're going to be starting getting those points out soon. Point a lap from here on out. It's a point to lead the lap. Number 5, here's the bell first. That's Sam Morris. Currently 4th in the International Omnium. Mario Sandoval smells opportunity. Calling here from second position. He'll pick up the pace a bit. Trying to find this first point. Every point will be very valuable in this tempo race. 24 picks up the early lead. Number 5 is still on the effort. We've got a bit of a break here as that looks like also Lance Abshire joining in. We've got 3 riders away. Very early on in this tempo, Sandoval plays aggressive and realizes he needs to be part of this effort too, so he finds his way back on. Your early leader back in the group. Here comes Abshire. Picking up 1 as well, put him in a tie with the rider in green. Abshire came into this race in 5th overall with 32 points in the Omnium, so also near the top of the leaderboard right now in the current race. In a tie with Sandoval, but Abshire trying to pick up 2 here back to back. At 13 to go, he picks up another. He might just be rolling with this thing now. Well, he'll sit up and wait to see if he's got some reinforcements. Just enough effort to pick 2 in a row. He'll take the solo lead of the tempo. And those 3 will try to recover back in the field as new leaders come to the front. It looks like Richter, number 7, the Rocket, picking things up quickly. As the field rests, he accelerates. Good opportunity for number 7 to pick up some value here. Richter and Sandoval, the two riders for Found Cycling out here that are competing near the top of the Omnium, are tied 1 point apiece. Lance Abshire for the Chain Windows team has got 2. Currently your leader, but this will change now as we got a tie between Richter and Abshire. He picks up another now, number 7. On the solo break, as I mentioned, a great way to pick up these points in a tempo. Just get away from the field for a few laps. No small feat. But Richter making it looking pretty easy now as the rest of the field giving him plenty of room to pick up a third. At 10 to go, Richter finds his third point and doesn't see a lot of reason to pull off. He looks around and sees that the field's still giving him room. Might as well pick up more. Your leader, Richter, alone with 3. It's Abshire in second with 2. Sandoval in third with 1. Make it 4. Richter just keeps picking him up. Rider for Found Cycling making it look easy out in front of this big field. Tom Perkins, number 36, for Tesseract Racing, was leading the field there for a moment, trying to bring things closer. The gap not too big that someone couldn't go get them, but it doesn't look like they're organized yet. There's just not the energy to go catch just right now. They're starting to edge forward a bit. Now we see the single file formation from the front of this field. Richter on his 5th point now. Bib number 40 is Nico Sandy of Alto Velo, trying to chase him down. Might be able to catch him on the back straight. You can see Richter starting to pull off the pace a little bit. Noticing the field's coming in. He's not going to try to make anything here. He knows they're coming. After having picked up 5 in a row. Now the sprint coming back from the group. At 7 to go. That's number 29, Cameron Fitzmaurice. For Team Lost Boys. Well, he's been found now. You move up to the top of the leaderboard. Should shoot him right back up into a tie for third. Lance Abshire come back to the front, but here comes Kovalchic wanting to start things up. He was leading the International Omnium coming into the race. Number 26 makes the quick sprint at the end. Doesn't want to surrender this lead for too much longer. 3 riders with 1 point apiece, Sandoval, Kovalchic, and Fitzmaurice. Abshire hoped to pick one up there, got snubbed at the line. He's still out in this break effort though, as is Kovalchic. This might be good for all 3 riders as they look a little bit more cooperative. Abshire will pick this one up. That's Andy Baker that joins in on the effort. So 3 off the front, starting to play like a team. Kovalchic moves up to the lead spot in this group of 3. Abshire picking up the point puts him into a solid second place. He's got 3 trailing behind Richter's 5. Still enough laps for the lead to change, but Richter certainly has secured a top 3 spot with his solo move earlier. Seeing 4 to go, Kovalchic gets another. That'll put him into second alone, ahead of Sandoval and Fitzmaurice. 1 point behind Abshire, and I think Baker is hoping to pick up the point here for his efforts, helping carry these 2 around a little bit on this lap. That'll also move him up in the finishing order significantly, as that'll immediately put him into contention for, I believe, a tie for 4th, just by picking up even a single point. And it will be number 4 picking up his first point. In a tie for 4th with Sandoval and Fitzmaurice, 1 point apiece. Kovalchic with 2, Abshire with 3. Richter still your leader with 5. One of these riders in the front group is going to have to start getting selfish if they want to beat Richter in this individual event. They're also probably pretty happy with just picking up a lot of Omnium points out of this formation. Abshire, number 33, picks up another. He moves up 1 point behind Richter. If he finds the last point, or 2 more here on these last 2 laps even, and he would be the new winner of the tempo. Coming into the bell lap, it's Kovalchic's lap to get the point. Looks like he's going to get it. He's watching his thin alliance behind him, right? That alliance can fall apart at any time, making sure that he'll get it, and he picks it up. So Kovalchic picks up another, bringing him up to 3, 1 point behind Abshire. And a sprint from Kovalchic to pick up the last point will put him into 2nd overall. Abshire wants to fight for it, though. Whoa! 33 with the throw, gets it. That'll give him 1st place in the tiebreak over Richter, and 3rd will go to Kovalchic. If Kovalchic finds that, he gets 2nd, Abshire 3rd, Richter 1st. It goes the other way. So Abshire, your winner in the throw there. Ties being broken here on this final sprint from all the riders with 0 points. So that last sprint still important for the placings. But with that move, Abshire secures a victory over Richter in a tiebreak scenario. Kovalchic holds on to 3rd. The International Omnium Tempo race concluded. Yeah, good stuff. Good speed from our field today. They're going to make their way off as we have 2 more races for them tonight to conclude the International Omnium. Richter should still be near the top as Found Cycling has got big interest in seeing his success this evening. Abshire picking up the win in the International Omnium is working his way up. Kovalchic also going to be near the top of this thing still, so they're going to be in that top 5 region of the International Omnium coming into this evening. Should be very exciting. We're going to call Tomko and Waterman up first. All right, a moment of pause here. We're going to be setting ourselves up for the semifinal rounds. We had a slight change in the Masters men. We have a competitor that is leaving the competition, I guess, a good way to put it. We got to resort things a little bit to make sure it stays running. So the Broadmark Masters Cat 3 Men Sprints will be up first for the semifinal round. It'll be Tomko and Waterman in the reconfiguration head-to-head first. And then after that, it'll be James versus James. The Battle of the James. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're out here enjoying the scene at the Velodrome, this is session number 1 of the Vision Grand Prix, making its way back in 2022 after an unsurprising few years of hiatus. We are back and excited to be hosting racing again here at the Velodrome. Today's session is a lot about setup. We've got to set up the excitement for tonight. We've got several rounds of qualifiers, several rounds for the sprinters to work their way through, and we find ourselves into the last bit of this session, the semifinals. Riders will determine out of this single ride whether they ride for 1st or 2nd or 3rd or for 4th in their respective groups. Number 13 for Center Cycles, Daniel Tomko is on the inside position. Number 19 is sitting alongside Eric Waterman for Dyna Racing. If you were paying attention to the earlier rounds, our top placer in this group having to depart, meaning that we move our 5th place rider back up into this so we can keep riding this fantastic tournament we've been having for the Masters and Cat 3 men. The result, Tomko taking on Waterman. Best of 1 in this round. Rider that takes it will advance to race for 1st and 2nd place. The 2nd place rider will continue to ride for 3rd and 4th. Tomko, one of the fast riders during the qualifying round, found his buys in the early bits because his top speed was impressive today. That's the rider in blue for Center Cycles with the advantage of top speed. Waterman with lots of experience and plenty of speed himself, the rider for Dyna Racing, not to be counted out in this head-to-head match. On deck, the battle of the James set to go. It's James Steele and James Campbell Harris coming up next. Bells ring and Tomko still controls the front position. Waterman trying to use the second wheel spot to dance around a little bit and keep him on his toes. Down the back straight, Tomko takes the lane. Waterman with the longer line. He would have to get back into the back wheel position and try to re-accelerate himself. It may not be enough, though, as Tomko continues to roll away. Tomko for Center Cycles. Number 67, James Steele, the Team Atomic, is coming up ahead, head-to-head with Aerotech Racing's James Campbell Harris. Getting a good look there at number 67, lined up on his bike, James Steele. And there's James Campbell Harris in the green and blue of Aerotech. Aerotech Racing on the inside line, as James Steele seems to be happy to take the lead spot. He'll start to roll things up. Steele with the advantage coming out of the qualifiers. Another one of our speedsters getting a buy round. So we know his top speed is on point. Campbell Harris worked his way in here through a couple rounds of racing and has qualified to this point. The bright neon colors of the Aerotech Racing rider, James Campbell Harris, again, the rider slightly disadvantaged of the top speed measured through the qualifying event. Trying to hold on to the second wheel currently in a little bit higher position on the track. It's one to go. Neil in front. Some people already figured out the call for the race is go James. With Theo lead in position, Aerotech Racing still holding on to the second wheel. He's watching for the acceleration, not seeing it yet. Keeps looking between the legs. He sees James Campbell Harris making the run. The rider there in the sprinter's lane has the clear advantage here as he catches the acceleration, but Aerotech Racing still making a good run at it. They'll come along side by side. And Campbell Harris makes the run from the second position and has enough to close it down. Our first of two heats in the semifinals for the Elite Men. This best of one ride to advance for the ride. First and second place, or the second rider, of course, will go to the ride for third and fourth. This is Andrew Carlberg, number 12, along the rail. Number 9, Lemin Wright in lane 1. Lemin Wright for the Shop Racing takes the lead spot, number 9 in the white jersey with the black helmet. Having some good performances, making it to this point in qualifying all the way here against Andrew Carlberg of the Coefficient of Speed. Breaking a record today on the track, and no question, currently the king of speed here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. Tactics and strategy key here for Lemin if he's going to find the victory. Timing going to be critical here in this semifinal ride. Just 2 more heats left in this session. We're closing things down awfully quick here as this one, and then we'll have Seigel and Young sorting out the next 2 riders to race for the gold and silver. On the back straight, it is Lemin still leading by a little bit ahead of Carlberg, who's happy to be in second position now. He knows this is a closer match than he may see it on any given day, so he's trying to play this as carefully as he can. Flying 200 meters isn't everything. Having a competitor out there, and of course being able to play in the slipstream and playing off the timing of the other rider and the positioning of the other rider, so big as the speed comes closer and closer and the competitiveness increases between the riders. These little details, the minutia of how the riders play out the competition matters more and more. The lead rider, Lemin, still holding that place. Carlberg happy to be in second still as they find the home straight. As the bell's ringing, they maintain similar position, a bit more left and right as they're dodging, keeping Lemin's eyes active on Carlberg. Carlberg takes the high spot. A little bit of jockeying of position there, a little bit of maneuvering up the hill. Carlberg is pinned a little bit. He'll take acceleration down the back straight, but he's able to find the lane. Now Lemin in the counter move, trying to get onto the wheel. He still has time, trying to reaccelerate things out onto the home straight. Carlberg and Lemin. It'll be Carlberg on the inside, advancing for the ride for first and second. Lemin Wright with a great ride. Made the good closing effort. We'll see him again for the race for third and fourth tonight. Our final heat coming up now for this session. It's the semifinal round for Alex Seigel and Keirin Young in Heat 2. And in this great last ride here in the semifinal round, it's Alex Seigel, number 42, in lane 1, pardon me, lower on the track. Number 10 playing a little touch and go here, it looks like. Keirin Young for the Shop, starting to already mess with the head of Alex Seigel. They're in their opening lap. One more rider to find out who's going to be head-to-head with Andrew Carlberg. I'd say we're either set up for a very familiar race around here, and then we get to see 2 Shop riders head-to-head, or we'll get a totally new matchup we've never seen before. We'll see how this one plays out. Of course, the repeat I'm mentioning would be Seigel and Carlberg being head-to-head again here at a Grand Prix. in these best of ones here at the Grand Prix. It's very high stakes in each round right up until these grand finals, where we'll open it up tonight for a best of 3 race. Leaving a lot of room here. Aaron Young, several bike lengths back as they round the corner. Seigel making it a fairly expedient first lap. As they hit corner 1, a familiar formation returns as they sit more side by side. Seigel once again in this ride trying to find a way to pin Aaron up towards the rail. Abandoning the pin, and off they go down the hill, and the acceleration coming. Aaron's got the back spot, and they accelerated about the same time. This is very good for the back rider if they can get to the wheel. Still good speed, though, from the lead rider. Seigel accelerating nicely. Try not to let the competition touch that back wheel. Here comes the contact. Might still be a race. Seigel plays it well from the front. Number 10 making a good run at it. It will be Alex Seigel and Andrew Carlberg tonight in our final for first and second. We'll watch Lemon Wright and Aaron Young battling it out for third and fourth. Still top podium spots on the line in that race, playing out during this evening's race program. Thanks for tuning in and enjoying what was an exciting setup for what will be even more exciting evening of racing. The Vision Grand Prix is going to be coming to an exciting set of races this evening starting at 7 o'clock, but this session is all concluded. That's right. We're going to take a couple hours away and let the riders cool down and get set for tonight. In the hour before, the track will be open. You can come out here and get your efforts and get ready and warmed up. And of course, if you're going to be keeping things here, riders can do so. There will be folks around to kind of secure the track. You do not need to take all of your things with you. On your way out, don't forget to pick up your Vision Grand Prix swag. We got the t-shirts on your way out on the right-hand side. We'll try to make more of those available later, too, for those out there in the grander audience. For now, we're only selling to those that make their way down to the Velodrome. A good excuse to get in the car and come down and cheer on the riders tonight. Racing starts again this evening at 7 p.m. Track will be open in the hour and a half before. You may leave your things here. Those that tuned in online, if you've been enjoying it, thanks again for tuning in for this session. We cannot wait to have